mayoral term is ending in 2024. After being in this role since what's now 5 years, since 2017, what's next for Andy Burnham?
Well, a third term is what I'm getting ready for. You know, the first term I was really focused on homelessness, and we made a big change there. We set up a scheme called A Bed Every Night, and that's running now, and it's really made a difference. This term is very much about buses and integrating buses with the trams. The third term would be to bring trains into the B network and then to really build out the London transport system.
There's been multiple campaign groups that have been talking about the environmental impact of Sizewell C and the impact on their lives. So what does Suffolk gain from powering the rest of the UK?
I'll tell you what Suffolk gains. It gains good, well-paid jobs and fantastic futures for some of the apprentices here. This is Suffolk New College. It is tied into Sizewell, and you can see the reaction from the young people here because they can see today that their futures could well be tied up in those jobs in Sizewell.
Do you think the NHS should be funded by centrally, or should it be funded by someone, a 100-year-old man doing laps around his backyard?
Oh, definitely not, no. I don't think it should be down to an old man.
So you saw them on the TV and you expected them to be like this giving family, and Captain Tom was doing it for the right reasons, but obviously the money's gone to something completely away from what it was meant to be.
If people are donating money to a charity, I guess you hope that the recipient of the money is going to be handling it with some diligence.
We spoke to a popular student bar in 256 about the spiking epidemic.
Yes.
And we were told by the owner of the bar that they had talked to GMP multiple times about trying to improve security in the area, but the GMP never got back to them. Why aren't GMP listening to nightlife industry and who are trying to make a positive change?
Myself and Sasha Lord came here to the university actually to talk to students who'd organised a big protest in the city centre, and we set up an anti-spiking partnership working with a number of bars and with GMP, where we were looking at getting testing kits available on the spot, so that if somebody felt they'd been spiked, they could immediately get access to that. And we were asking the clubs and the bars to do more to help people who may feel they needed time out.
At the picket lines, the protesters came up with innovative ways to draw in bystanders by making the leaflets into satirical newspapers. I sat down with the editor of the newspaper to get more information on this. One thing I saw on the website was a reference to this satirical newspaper that people on Global Justice now are working on.
We're trying to think of a format within which to be able to cover all these bases without it just being like us writing a briefing and a big list of all the different ways that Amazon is evil.
How do you feel about the result today?
Well, I'm really, really pleased, delighted, humbled, and I just want to thank everybody who supported me and just say quite clearly, having been given the privilege of being in this role for another 4 years, I really will work with everybody.
I'm here in Liverpool in front of the Labour Party conference to talk to people about their opinions of the Labour Party, whether they support it or not, and why. When Keir Starmer takes the stage on Wednesday, what do you hope he says?
I mean, I hope he resigns, to be honest. I hope he says, I resign.
Sky News have just reported that HS2 is most probably being cancelled. It's like the Manchester being cancelled. Do you think that's a positive, negative? What's your opinion?
I've always been against HS2. I think the money that's being spent on that could be spent, or a fraction of the money being spent on that. It's what now estimated 106 billion. A fraction of that put on improving the rail services and the roads around the country.
Many of us will remember 1992. Remember 1992? Neil Kinnock, 6-1, odds-on favourite to be the Prime Minister. By the way, I don't encourage anyone to bet.
It's been an extraordinary evening nationally, but I think the first thing I want to say is to thank the people of South Suffolk for keeping their faith in me.
Well, if you were to step back at the moment and look at the geopolitical situation, you can see there's war in the Middle East. You can see there's war in the east on the very edge of Europe, where we have over 2,000 casualties a day between the Russians and the Ukrainians. 2,000 a day. That means by the time we've had our breakfast, there's already 500 casualties.
I became a patron of Combat to Coffee because my son, Captain Christopher Butcher, returned home from Iraq and Afghanistan in 2009 with severe and complex PTSD.
The report used the term BAME constantly,
Right.
and then shortened it to BME a few times as well.
Yes.
But it's many times been argued that it's quite a harmful term to use. It's just segregating people who are are not white as one category.
Yeah.
So my question is, isn't using this term and talking about inclusive practices a bit hypocritical?
May I ask what course you're studying?
History and politics.
Right here. Excuse my expression. So, indeed, quite a very good question. And you are right. And you share the feelings of many in terms of why put people into boxes. I'm going to go back a bit to go forward. So there's something about benchmarking, and there's something about us being a public sector organization, which means we have a public sector equality duty, which means we need to report on the breakdown of our staff, the breakdown of our students, the breakdown of even including those we engage with.